This episode is brought to you by Honeysuckle White. If you're looking for ways to make mealtime healthier in the new year, make your favorite recipes with turkey from Honeysuckle White. Take the pressure off, keep it simple and tasty without sacrificing flavor for nutrition. Whether you want a delicious sandwich or post-workout protein, Honeysuckle White turkey can do it all. Visit honeysucklewhite.com for recipe inspiration and to find retailers near you. Honeysuckle White. Eat what you love.
Listen to the 48 Hours podcast for shocking murder cases and compelling real-life dramas from one of television's most watched true crime shows. Go behind the scenes of each episode with award-winning CBS News correspondents and producers in Postmortem, a weekly deep dive. Listen to 48 Hours wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Haley, the face of Waco Girl Does. You're listening to Know Waco.
Well, thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Know Waco. This episode, we have a very exciting guest here in the studio. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Debbie. I am Josh Sims. I am the head of sanitation at Oak and Ivy Wine Bar Bistro.
All right, and what brought you to Waco, or are you a Waco native?
I am somewhat of a Waco native. I grew up in Groesbeck, which is 40 miles east of Waco. Being a small town, if we wanted to do anything special, we had to come to Waco.
Yep.
And so I spent a lot of time in Waco growing up. Then I did about 15, 20 years in North Texas. I got married up there, and when we looked at relocating back home, Waco was as close to Groesbeck as she was going to get. So
I completely understand.
Been here
that.
since 2016.
Okay, I you know what? I always tell people that the term Wacoan is something you have to claim, and once you claim it, then you are a Wacoan.
That's true.
And I always say this, but everybody knows if the Waco suck, you got to come back, you know. And so now tell me a little bit more about Oak and Ivy.
Okay, yeah. So Oak and Ivy is my first venture into the food and beverage industry. The beginning of 2020, or I guess mid 2020, my wife and I were coming back from Fredericksburg. They were Fredericksburg being a solid, at that time, Trump city. They were vowed to never shut down, never acquiesce, never surrender to COVID. And so they were open, which was good. We love cheese and wine, so we went down there for a weekend. And coming back, we just noticed this new development in just outside of Woodway, and we started talking about what would work there. And so one of the concepts that we came up was a wine and cheese bar.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
yeah. So end of 2020, my wife, she started getting a little apprehensive about this possible development, and so. But she wanted to be supportive, so she introduced me to a husband of a fellow realtor, and he was a sommelier. And so he introduced me to the lady that became our chef. And so within a span of about 4 months, I had my manager team put together.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And so how did finding a location, how did that all go?
So finding the location, we had already talked or really decided on the location, and it was really about deciding what would work there. Now, you cannot have a bar in Woodway. Woodway being a small community, I respect that. We're basically right across the highway from First Baptist Woodway, lovely old church.
Right next to the Midway admin building.
Exactly. And just down the road from a couple of elementary schools. So, and you know, one of the driving forces behind the concept and the vision for this place is the community that Woodway specifically has. I mean, it's very tight knit. And so we wanted to celebrate that, and that location, it made perfect sense for what we wanted to do. There were cheaper areas that we could have done this in, but that is a perfect location.
Yeah, and I grew up in Hewitt, so I lived in Hewitt for quite a while. I now reside in downtown Waco because that's where my jobs brought me. But I actually worked at Simple Bills right across the street for quite a while. Shout out. So I know that area very well, and I love that community. So what really brought you guys to the community, and what really influenced you?
So like I said, the community feel that my wife and I experienced down in Fredericksburg at this little, uh, really cheese bar
Mm-hmm.
down in Fredericksburg. It was a small venue. You have a couple of options on your cheeses, a couple options on your wine. You just sit out there and listen to some acoustic live music and enjoy the company and the weather. We wanted to capture that. We wanted to basically do a upscale cheers environment for the community, a place that people can come in, and whether you're by yourself or you're with other people, you can come in and never have to worry about being alone.
Yeah.
And you never have to worry about filling out a place. And someone's going to take a vested interest in
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and the Waco community doesn't have anything like this. We don't have just a wine and cheese bar. We don't have anything similar to this. So why do you think it's really needed now in the Waco community?
We're not offering anything that somebody else can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, somebody can sell cheese. There's several places around town that
H-E-B.
right. But there's several places where you can get a good glass of wine.
Mm-hmm.
You can get some good food. The value that we're creating is that that feeling and sense of community,
Mm-hmm.
and anything that we can do to encourage that. And the food and the drink are just vehicles to do that.
Yeah.
So, most of what we do, you can replicate it with the right people and the right money.
Mm-hmm.
There's no magical formula for that. But what we want to do with that
Mm-hmm.
is just create a place where people can come and just hang.
Yeah.
We're not going to be a high turnover place. We don't anticipate people coming in just for one drink and leaving.
Yeah.
If they are, that means they're going somewhere else for something that they really want, and we're not the destination, and we want to be a destination.
Mm-hmm.
But there's great restaurants in Waco, right?
Mm-hmm.
You grew up in Hewitt. There used to be George's and nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But things are really coming up on the food scene, and part of our offering is a tasting menu
Mm-hmm.
for our kitchen, and that's something that you see kind of one-off in a few places around town, but nobody has tried to consistently deliver that well.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we want to do.
And so you guys are an upscale fine dining establishment. So tell me, what's the mission behind that?
Yeah, so we call ourselves casual upscale.
There you go.
We want our customers to be comfortable in whatever they come in, and like our servers are going to be kind of first date attire.
Ooh.
Yeah, hopefully none of the first dates happen while they're working.
Maybe. You never know.
And then the kitchen it's an open kitchen, and so they'll have the classic chef attire, the white shirts, the hats, full aprons, and so all this is really there. Like I said, it's to instill. We are casual because relationships are our most important thing.
Yeah.
We're upscale. We're not going to be the cheapest place out there.
Yeah.
And so the dress codes, the open kitchen, the interaction with the customers, it's all to create value.
Yeah.
Whether you spend $30, whether you spend $200, you walk out of there feeling that is a great value for the dollar that you spent.
Wow. Yeah.
And if people feel like they're valued,
Mm-hmm.
like as a person that you were valued, you felt like you were taken care of, then that value's there.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure the food tastes good.
Yeah. That's number one.
That's true.
Yeah. And so how is it going with development? Where are you guys currently at in the build out process? Or are we looking at a grand opening soon?
We are looking at a soft launch soon. Our biggest impediment to opening is hiring kitchen staff.
Yeah. Put it out into the ether. Give us all
We're putting it out there. Yeah, so if you go on Indeed and you search for dishwashers, there's 25 restaurants in Waco that are looking for a dishwasher, and I was surprised at how much higher our lowest salary was than what everybody else is offering. I mean, there's some more upscale restaurants that aren't searching for a dishwasher, and so they probably got somebody in there that they're taking care of financially. But I I have a personal responsibility for the financial well-being of my employees.
Yeah.
I want them to be able to make a career out of working at Oak and Ivy. And so I think our pay scale is going to look like that. I have, I mean, we're a startup, right?
Mm-hmm.
All I bring to the table right now is some good ideas and debt.
Mm-hmm. As all good startups do.
That's right. And so we can't immediately pay everybody what we want to, but I've got a goal, a personal goal by year 3 that everybody in the kitchen is making at least $45,000.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That last year, that was the median income for Waco,
That's
which
true.
was still lagging behind the median income for the state.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've got some work to do to catch up to the state. But I think that this restaurant is a perfect vehicle to be able to enrich the lives financially of the employees.
Mm-hmm.
I did a few years at Southwest Airlines,
Mm-hmm.
and so one of the things I learned there was, you know, you treat your employees a certain way, and they're going to pass that along to your customers.
Yeah.
Take care of the employees first. Who's number one in the management size? It's not the customer, it's the employees.
Mm-hmm.
So you take care of the employees, and they'll take care of your customers.
Yeah.
And so we kind of bring that same approach to Oak and Ivy.
Yeah, and I love that mission behind it, and I really think that can impact our Waco economy. What is your take on that?
Yeah, so my wife is in the real estate arena. She's shout out Jennifer Sims, that's WBC.
Shout out.
What? No, she's been in the industry for about 5 years, and she's just killed it. But one of the things she's consistently told me is that it is very difficult for food and beverage employees to get loans
Mm-hmm.
in this market.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many.
I just bought a house, and I know,
Well,
I know.
Hey, congratulations on all the debt.
Yeah.
And but specifically like hometown Waco folks that have like always historically had hometown Waco wages.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to get there, and with my belief is if I know about a problem and I can address the problem, I have an obligation to do so.
Yeah.
And so I'm not trying to build a second home somewhere in another state so I can vacation there during the season. I would call it a success if my employees are able to drive a good car,
Wow.
get the apartment or house that they want. Again, I can't even buy a house right now, but
It's a hard.
right, but live where they want to live,
Yeah.
put their kids in, have everybody taken care of. Like that's something that I am very passionate about
Yeah.
doing, and so it's going to come at a cost. You know, we're going to have to, like, as owners, my wife and I, there's some sacrifices that we'll have to make personally on the financial side of it, but the being good stewards of the money and enriching the lives of our employees, that's going to be a fun challenge, I think.
Yeah, and that really leads into one of the questions I always ask people is, what is something you would like to see in the community? And I feel that you have such a heart for our community that you already have a few things.
Yeah, well, I do. I would like. There's 3 things that are kind of step changes that I would like. I would like all of our servers to know the anniversary of a couple of customers.
Aw.
Just off the top of their head, I want them to have that kind of relationship. 2, I would like my wife and I to get in a financial position where we could consider adopting a kid.
Oh, wow.
That's something that we've been kicking around, but we just financially hadn't been in a place where we can do it. And me being GM of this place until we become financially solvent, it's still going to be hard, but that's still a goal that we want to be able to take seriously. And whether that counts as a community goal or not, I don't know. But and I would like I would like to be able to sponsor a little kid's baseball team.
Oh.
I mean, it sounds kind of hokey.
Isn't there like a baseball field right across 6 on the other side?
There's one, up towards.
Closer to like where the new gun range is. On the other side?
That's a practice field.
Oh, a practice field.
But there's a baseball field over by Dr. Beck's, his oral surgeon office. But I mean, I loved baseball when I was a kid, and I always felt like you're doing something if you put your name on some little kid's T-shirt. But no, I have dreams about being able to impact the community at large. I mean, the way I was able to do it in Dallas when I was up there, it was being able to surround yourself with passionate people that want to raise up kids in schools and help those that are without.
Yeah.
And that's being a good steward, is raising up the least of these and folks that aren't as blessed as we are, in Woodway. Per capita is a little bit higher in Woodway than it is in Waco, and so we need to do something with that money to even the odds. So I know that's kind of a nebulous response, but those are a couple of things I'd like to see done in the long run.
And on that note, we're actually going to take a break real fast just for a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Awesome.
All right, and we're back. So we had just left off with you talking about some of the things you would like to see in the community. And one of the things I've been asking people is, what would you like to see happen by the end of 2022?
By the end of 2022, a couple of the goals that we have for our restaurant is we would like our debt to be 30% paid off. We would like to obtain our first catering opportunity.
Ooh.
And I would like to be able to give my employees a Christmas bonus.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So those are the three of the 6 biggest goals I have for the restaurant.
Yeah.
This year, we've still got a roof to put over our patio, and then we've got to purchase a catering vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll get our full liquor license, and then once we do that, then we're gonna start paying bonuses.
Ooh. And I know you said you're going to be having a soft opening soon, so tell us more about
Sure.
that.
No. So we're shooting right now for June 2nd.
Woo.
And the soft launch schedule will kind of be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 1 to 10.
Okay.
Once we get everybody hired and trained, that'll make that date much more concrete.
Understandable.
But right now it's a moving target. But we're consistently putting a firm target out there just so we have something to shoot for.
Yeah, I got you.
We'll do that soft launch. We'll do a few iterations of it. So we'll expand our happy hour and dinner menu, and we'd eventually like to get into the weekend lunch.
Yeah.
Be able to offer that. But once you start offering lunches, you're having 2 different shifts.
There you go.
And so
Are you guys going to plan on maybe closing in the middle of the day and doing like a during the day and then maybe a break and then in the evening? I know some places do that. Or do you guys have hours of operation yet?
We won't be closed during the day. That's just because we're golf cart accessible to about 600 homes.
Oh, wow.
And there's a lot of stay-at-home moms in our area, and we're not necessarily going to be a place where you can just set up the laptop and pound out some work for 2 hours, but we do want to set up an environment where, whether it's a book club or business lunches or something, they have a place to come in, and whether it's 11:30 or 1:30, we want to be able to provide them with some service. So once we're fully open, I would anticipate our hours being kind of 11 to 10.
Okay.
And on 11 to 11 on the weekends.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And what are some of the things that you're most excited about for your opening?
That's a good question. I am most excited about. So I finished my MBA program at Baylor this past December. I'm most excited. Thank you. I'm most excited about getting some of my professors and well, I say classmates. I was 20 years older than all of them, but I want to get.
You're never too old for school.
You're not. And there were times I doubted the wisdom of that saying because it was tough. But I would like to get them in there and just.
I was 20 with a bunch of 20-year-olds and still fat out of place, so don't worry.
You're an old soul.
There you go.
You know, they helped me immensely with the development of the business plan and stuff like that. And so I'd like to, especially the kids, some of them are graduating and heading out. I'd like to get them in there and, you know, get their feedback and their thoughts on it before they leave.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the only one that worked on it.
Mm-hmm.
My name's on it, but I had a lot of help.
You're the one that writes the checks.
That's right. That is right.
The important job.
It's relative. And you know, one of the things I've been saying repeatedly during our interviews is, you know, the dishwasher is actually the most important person.
Yep.
If we don't have somebody back there washing dishes, the entire kitchen comes to a halt.
Mm-hmm.
I am replaceable. Like if I'm not there, there may be some people, some customers that may expect to see me there.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not there,
it's fine.
business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't have a dishwasher, we're going down and we're going down fast. And so, like, in no way, shape, and form am I the important piece of this cog. There's 24 people that be there that are way more important than I am.
Yeah.
So I've got to maintain that. I mean, I've got opinions on everything, but I don't really know much. So thankfully, my chef and my beverage manager, they've been patient with me, raising me up, training me on some stuff.
Yeah.
Dragging me along, explaining stuff. And sometimes I have to go to sleep kind of angry because I'm like, why are we not doing things according to the way I want?
Mm-hmm.
And
But like, it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, an airplane pilot going to a race car, and it's like, why are they driving that way? I would never drive that way.
Yeah.
What does he know about racing cars?
Yeah,
You know?
there you go.
So I've got a lot to learn.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I know that whole area right there is developing. So there's a lot of up and coming businesses in that area. Are you guys leaning on each other for support? Have you really found community in that aspect?
Yeah, I've actually met with all the other business owners in that strip, and by the time we do our grand opening, we would like to be able to partner in some way and support each other some way. Which, you know, there's an ice cream place over there.
Yeah, Heritage.
You know, they're probably a bit more natural partnership.
It's true.
Than the two fitness centers.
That's true.
Now, don't get me wrong, Body Hack, they've got some IV stuff that they say, you know, can perk you right up or cure your hangover, all that stuff. I mean, they've got some really cool toys in there. And so
drink a bottle of wine, then go run on the treadmill for 20 minutes. I don't know.
It's a closed loop system.
There you go. Yeah.
Tubes all over the place.
You have to go to this one, then you go to this one.
Exactly.
Just start cutting holes through the doors to go in through each building.
Yeah. I haven't thought of that.
Then it's multi-access from all points.
Yep. Revenue stream. You know, them and Hot Works, you know, they've both got a really unique segment. And so it'll be fun to find ways we can partner with each other. But I anticipate, you know, I want to have a block party whenever we do our grand opening, and you know, the rising tides raise all ships, and you know, I want to lift them up as much as I want them to be blessed because we're there.
Yeah.
You know, I want them to do better because we're there. And so however I can make that happen, I'll do it.
Yeah. And it's fantastic to see how much that community has grown, especially with that development that just happened in Woodway.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of development happening, you know, west of town out towards McGregor. And it's, of course, I mean, there's some infighting right now at Woodway, you know, with some development happening over by the lake that some people are pushing back against. And I see it both ways. I don't feel like I live close enough to the problem to have a strong opinion on it. But I take that back. I've got a strong opinion on anything. Ignorance is no excuse for me not having an opinion.
There you go. What do they say? Opinions are like elbows. Everybody has them, and they're rough.
Elbows, yes, they do say elbows.
That's the PC version,
right? But no, it's fantastic. Just watching the growth happen in Woodway, specifically as a business owner, you know, when things grow and growth happens quickly, you tend to lose some things that you didn't realize were important to you until they're already gone.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's important to always, you know, fight for that, since it's kind of encapsulated in the idea of small town living, but it's really just that sense of community. And
I always say we have small town vibes, or what do I say? Small town feels, big city vibes.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's downtown Waco, right?
Yep.
But Woodway's a little bit different. It's like small town vibes and small town problems. But with the expansion going on, we're just going to fight for having a place where you can just be known. Yeah. To hang out with your friends.
And how would you say that dynamic has shifted from the Gulson dynamic to the Woodway dynamic?
Well, there's no comparison.
None at all.
No. And by Gulson, I'm assuming you meant Groesbeck.
Yeah, it's Groesbeck, sorry.
Yeah. No, there's really, I mean, one of the things I'm having to prepare myself for is my friends and family from Groesbeck that do come visit us. It's going to be quite the culture shock when they see our menu. Yeah. Because it's not going to be.
They're going to be like, how much?
Well, not just that, but you want me to eat what? You know, I just want steak and potatoes. Where's steak and potatoes? This is a restaurant. And, you know, and we're going to have stuff like that, but, I mean, I've got an executive chef and she knows what she's about, and she's all about creativity.
If you can give us a sneak peek behind the chef's curtain for a second, do you want to tell me what one of your favorite dishes are? You want to give us a little sneaky peek?
One of my favorite dishes that she made, and since I'm putting it on the radio, she has to keep it on the menu.
She cannot take it off. Listen.
She made a curry ice cream.
Ooh.
With pineapple chunks and tapioca.
Ooh.
And it was a flavor bomb in my mouth.
That sounds fantastic.
I loved it so much. And she jokes about it and she's saying, I'm never making that again. But
no, you're like, that's my favorite. You have to put it on the menu.
But she's originally from Colombia, so she has a lot of Central American, South American influences, a lot of Asian influences. She is well traveled, and I appreciate that about her. She's got a unique way of looking at food. But MC Art Supplies, they just made some or delivered her first batch of dishes, and I'm looking forward to being able to stage some more plates, because man, those plates look good. And once you get the food on there, I know you're supposed to take pictures of it, but I'm just gonna eat it.
I'm the picture of the food girl. Yeah, you know, I think you gotta get the social media people in there. That's what you get.
I would rather take a picture of me all fat and satisfied and after happy. Eating the food. I'm like,
than y'all the food.
Have seen this food. It's so good.
It's funny when me and my friends go out to like a nice restaurant or we're like somewhere we haven't been before. We always say rule number 1: don't eat yet because we got to take a picture before we do anything else. So we're always like rule number 1. Like anytime we're at a dinner table or we go out to brunch, I'm like rule number 1, guys.
You know, and that's actually one of the things we discussed is you know, in the restaurant, is having cages for people to put their phones. Yeah. If they wanted to, you know, commit to, hey, let's just be in this moment.
A digital free environment.
Yeah. Well, and it's not so much about being digital free, because, gosh, so many of our tools and our infrastructure in the restaurants, I mean, it's built on technology.
That's true.
So I can't knock it. But
just for the experience.
Yeah, I've taken a lot of surveys of, if you've got 4 people and you're going out, how many of those 4 people are on their phone at once?
Mm-hmm.
And trying to figure out, are people more, did I want to invest in a selfie wall?
Mm-hmm.
Or did I want to, kind of keep the flow of everything that's similar? Or, because I know selfie walls are important to people.
Mm-hmm. Important to people like me.
Yeah. But,
But if not, again, it's the experience.
Where I invested that money, was going to be kind of
R&D.
a strong, right, R&D, a strong indicator of, what I wanted people to enjoy about our place. And so I chose not to do the selfie wall. But we are going to find opportunities for like the chef to do selfies with
that's
people.
Fantastic.
And stuff like that.
I love that. And I know you already gave me a little sneak peek around the food kern. So why don't you tell me one of your favorite wines that you'll be having?
Oh, man.
Or what's your go-to choice?
All right, let's back up here. So we're going to have beer and wine to start with. And there's going to be a pretty broad selection of wines. Our beers on tap, we're only going to have 4 beers on tap. We're going to try and do rotate one tap across the local breweries.
Shout out Brotherwell.
Shout out. We're going to do a Texas beer on one. We'll do a craft IPA or some fancy beer on another. And then our 4th, we're going to try and partner with the local breweries and brew our own.
Ooh.
Because our beverage manager, Mark, he's experienced. He's got a large portfolio.
Yeah.
In wine, beer, and coffee, and so he can do a lot. And so that's one of the things we want to try and do. But right now, I am most looking forward to sitting down at my own bar and pouring myself a glass of Clown Shoes Space Cake. It's out of Boston.
I've never heard of that before.
It's an overpriced double IPA, and I don't know why. I just love it.
Well, interesting. Now I know what I need to order and what you guys need to order.
That's right. But yeah, on the wine side, just about any Cabernet.
Oh, there you go. Good choice.
My wife's words coming out of my mouth, because I'll just drink whatever she has.
Yeah, I get that. That's my husband too.
I haven't picked out the wine in a long, long time.
Oh, what my husband normally does is he'll go down the list and he'll find the weirdest name or the thing with the weirdest stuff in it, and then he'll order that. Yeah. And then I order something normal, and he's like, this is the weird. And then he'll take a drink of my drink, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and I'm very much a Neanderthal when it comes to drinking wine. I'm not a big notes of and flavors of, and this is the essence of an oak tree. Or there's some people that are very good at that, and after I kind of think it's like reading your horoscope.
There you go. Yeah.
Like once you read
wine is just astrology.
Yeah. So I read my horoscope. I was like, yeah, that's totally me. But would I have thought that if they hadn't said it?
There you go.
And so it's the same way with the nutty.
I'm gonna have to write a think piece about how like wine is the astrology for.
Well, no, it's the the people that write those words down, the astrologers.
There you go.
And the sommeliers.
There you go.
They're basically.
They're in cahoots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different sides of the same coin. They're basically selling the same thing.
And I know you've said you have an amazing beverage team and an amazing food team that has been helping you along this journey. Is there anyone else you would like to shout out?
Oh man, Kevin Dobbs at TFNB. There were 4 other banks that I'd pitched the business idea to. And he was the first one that said, "All right, let's do this."
They are fantastic, and they really help our local community in so many ways.
Yeah, and so he's got a good team at his bank that works closely with the SBA, and so that's been a tremendous blessing. But honestly, it's man, I'm kind of getting teared up just thinking about all the people that helped me along the way.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at Kevin for
There you
now.
go. Thanks, Kevin.
But we're sourcing locally as much as possible, and so we're going to make a point to shout out everybody that helped us out, because everybody's just done a tremendous job.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
We've had our sign up since August.
I was going to say, for quite a long time.
And that was Alamo Signs, and they just knocked it out of the park. And the lady at Ashley Munn over at Modern Texas Living, she largely designed that sign for us.
MTL, love them.
Yeah, and they, it's just been, Ashley coached us up a lot on the marketing side of things, and really helped us create kind of the vision for how that restaurant went. And she introduced us to our interior designer.
Oh, wow.
Jordan Shields, and which has, I told Jordan I wouldn't give her a real shout out and give her all the credit until we go to open and she comes in and looks at it and says, "This place looks great." Once I get her okay, then I was like, "Yeah, Jordan, she did an awesome job." But until then, it's all me.
It's all me.
But no, we'll finalize and formalize all our shout outs of the people that contributed as best we can.
It's fantastic that you have this amazing support system here in our community that has helped you on this journey. Now, go ahead and give us all the places we can find you, where we can find more information about you.
Yeah, so we've got Instagram and Facebook.
Just slide in those DMs. That's what I did.
Yeah. Just come on the DMs. It may take me a few minutes to figure out how to respond, but come on. No, I'm definitely a newcomer to Instagram. All the kids at Baylor, they took their time to make fun of me, especially when I would, text them and say, hey, how do I make this post? But Instagram and Facebook are our main means of communications. We do have a place on our website where people can sign up. That's OakenIvyWineBar.com. And they can sign up to receive newsletters for us. I typically will communicate things via newsletter about 2 days before I publish it online, just to give,
early access.
Yeah, early access to information, as a reward for signing up. And so when we do announce the hard date, hey, we're going to go, when we open up reservations, when we make all these announcements, it's going to go through the mailing list first, and then it'll go on social media. When we open up for soft launch, will probably be reservation only, just because the demand is going to be there, and I don't want anybody to show up and get turned away.
Yeah.
So we're going to control. I hate doing it, but it's the best way to keep everybody, from being disappointed. And we'll just have to work with people that are having trouble repeatedly getting reservations. We'll just have to work with them to get them in there, even if we have to stay late one night or something. But yeah, I mean, my my phone number and email address have been widely circulated already.
I was going to say, be careful.
But yeah, website, our newsletter on the website is number 1, and then Instagram and Facebook are number 2.
All right, awesome. And is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners today?
No, I'll be honest with you. I was very impressed with the breadth of conversations that you've had over the last 2 years when I was looking through your catalog. So I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, of course.
And giving the opportunity to talk a little bit about Oak and Ivy, and as many good wishes as people have for me, I wish the same for you.
Aw, and thank you so much for coming on. I'm really looking forward to the opening of Oak and Ivy.
Amen.
This has been Haley. I'm signing off. Tune in every Friday for all of the events and activities.
Now that you know Waco, just go. Go, Waco.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.